Welcome to the Hypnosis NGH podcast. This podcast series offers a fun and serious look at hypnosis and offers various ideas, discuss case studies, along with NGH educational opportunities. Hello, everyone. It's Eric Damon from the Hypnosis NGH podcast. We do have a special guest with us today that we are excited to talk about. He's been with the NGH for a while and also has been a presenter with the NGH. And coming up, we'll be presenting at the Solid Gold weekend in Las Vegas, February 24th and 25th. Please welcome Sean Michael Andrews. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you very much for having me.
So you are a certified hypnotist and a certified instructor?
I am, and
Excellent.
Just recently board certified.
Excellent.
Hypnotist.
And where did you do your board certification?
At the convention last year.
Yeah, we had a good amount of people who did it last year.
Yeah.
That's a good idea for those who want to advance their hypnosis career.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got the title as the world's fastest hypnotist.
Well, I do own that website, worldfastesthypnotist.com.
Well, that is important. It goes along with the title. So
yeah.
Now, do you do clinical as well as stage, or?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, that's my primary thing. Clinical is, and that's what I love. Most people think about me in terms of stage or doing impromptu hypnosis, but actually that's been a pretty small part of my career. I really love the clinical. That's because it's the coolest job in the world.
Right. Now you're out of Florida and you see
Yes.
clients.
I do see live clients and Zoom clients. Although I much prefer, I don't know, I'm a dinosaur. I much prefer having that person in my office,
Right.
and you miss out on so much when you're doing it over Zoom. I mean, sometimes that's the only way you can help somebody. So it's good that we have that. But given my druthers, I'd much rather have the person in my office sitting right next to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's a dinosaur. I mean, it's definitely it's obviously the way you learned hypnosis was with a live actual person in front of you. Um, and it definitely, I would say it has its merits over a Zoom call or online. I
Mm-hmm.
definitely see what's going on with the client. Um, and I know from my EMS career that even our training every 2 years that you have to recertify. Now they're doing a lot of Zoom stuff, but it's just much better.
Oh
Doing
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You miss so much, but yeah. But it's like I say, it's good that we have it, and it was certainly good over during COVID
Right.
that we had the Zoom sessions.
It has its good side. So now you're also an author.
Yes. I've written 2 books. The first one, I guess it was 2015, was called Who Me, and what I've done over the years is I've been fascinated by what makes some people more hypnotizable than others, because I do a lot of demonstrations, and if you're doing a demonstration, I mean, if you don't hypnotize the person, that would be embarrassing. So yeah, I've studied this, and to try and find out how can you tell the people that are most highly hypnotizable, so that when you do a demonstration, it's great, it works beautifully, and you wow the crowd. So Who Me is all about how to choose the best hypnotic subjects, just as a matter of history. And we know that people who come from the Indian subcontinent tend to be more highly hypnotizable than Northern Europeans. And James Esdale found that out when he was working down in India, and he was using mesmerism to put the Indians into trance, so he could do painless operations. He did over 300 major ones, and they didn't feel pain. But when Esdale came back to the UK and tried to do the same thing, it didn't work so well. So and with people from the Indian subcontinent, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, tend to be really great subjects. But what I don't know is it genetic, or is it cultural? Just don't know, and there hasn't been any research on that. But by golly, if you have somebody, if a client comes in and they obviously come from that sort of background, you're probably going to have a pretty easy session. So I like that. And so that's what the first book is about. It's about how to choose the best hypnotic subjects. And the second book in 2016 was called Street Hypnosis, but actually it was standard hypnosis. It was heavy on inductions and how to achieve deep trance, and how to do demonstrations. So yeah, so those are my two books.
Excellent. It's great. I trying to write it all for me and stuff. So I'll give you credit just for writing.
Well, I also have I'm married to a really great editor. So
that usually helps, right?
yes, it certainly does.
Now, let's kind of go back to world's fastest hypnotist in the sense of in your clinical setting, as well as doing demonstration.
Mhm.
So, what for those members and hypnotists listening? Why do you find that to be useful? Because obviously you practice what the title says.
Uh-huh.
We had a great conversation on the continuing education about what you do,
Mhm.
and you talked a lot about inductions, obviously.
Mhm.
So, how do you see that for other people? Why is that an important part? Do you think?
Oh, okay. Well, I guess there are three most important parts. And by the way, um, in my clinic, I don't use them very often. I don't use the instant inductions very often. I do use rapid inductions,
Yep.
because I think it's a rapid induction, for instance, a Dave Ellman induction. I feel that's more appropriate for the clinic, and so that's what I use. But I have the other inductions so that just in case I get a client that isn't going into trance with a normal induction, I can use this as another way to get them in if they're just inside their own head, and they're nervous, and they're just, if you do an instant induction, often that's the ticket to get that person into hypnosis. They don't have to think about anything. It's just boom, it happens. So, and I had to use one in the clinic just a couple of weeks ago, just because the lady wasn't going into trance with my normal induction. So for the clinician, it gives you the ability to get more of your clients into hypnosis. And I mean, we're hypnotists. That's what it's all about. I'm not a talk therapist, and so my business model is that I put the person into trance where they can accept suggestions that are good for them, and then I give them the suggestions that we've already agreed upon. And there's some other things I do. Occasionally, I do age regression and that sort of thing, um, but yeah, so that's an integral part of being a hypnotist, getting people into hypnosis. So if you know the instant inductions and the rapid inductions, you get more people hypnotized, which makes you able to help more people. So that's the first reason why a clinician would want to learn instant and rapid hypnosis. Another reason is that the rapid hypnosis, it speeds things up. I spend very little time getting the person into hypnosis. I spend most time on therapy. So if you have a very slow induction, then it cuts into the amount of time when you can give that person help and suggestions. So that's another reason why. Um, and then the third reason why is that uh, if you want to get more clients into your office, and who doesn't, um, you can give talks to demonstrations and talks to groups. And that is, I made, oh my gosh, I built my business on giving talks at ladies' gyms. I would go in there, I would give a brief history of hypnosis. I would uh, select my subjects that I knew were going to be good, because I like I say, I'm pretty good at picking them. And and that's something else. And I don't keep secrets. So I'm going to be telling everybody my tricks and the little hints that I use to find, how did you know that I was going to? Well, it's pretty obvious. So anyway, so I'll let them know how I do it. So you're doing a demonstration and you pick somebody, and then you do a really quick induction, and everyone in the audience is just amazed. They are just they've never seen this before. They know that lady, and she doesn't act like that. And
Right.
that person, that hypnotist, put her into a trance. And so then they want to come and they want to work with you. So it's perfect for demonstrations. Slow inductions don't make it in a demonstration, but fast ones, boy, that amazes people. And then they tell all their friends. So anyway, and then the last one is kind of a selfish one, and that is I love when I'm at a party and someone says, "Oh, you're a hypnotist. Can you show me something?" I like I said the other night, I live for that. It's like, yeah, I can show you a little something. And when I'm in the solid gold this February, I think I'm on the 25th. I think I'm on the Sunday morning. So when I'm there, I'll show the routine, exactly what I do when someone wants to see some hypnosis. And I mean, it's fun. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I was in school, I wasn't one of the cool kids. But if you're a hypnotist, you're one of the cool kids.
That's true. That's
So I
very
like to show people.
well. No, but that makes sense now that you talk it out that way, in the sense of promoting yourself and being able to do that definitely gives you people who, some phone calls that people are interested in talking to you about whatever issue they're dealing with.
Yes.
And that's definitely, I think that's one of the things that I've talked about with a lot of hypnotists is, because they're always, well, how do I promote myself online, or what? That is probably one of the best ways in your immediate area is to get out there and see people and demonstrate.
Oh yeah. It's the best. I built my business on those.
So, no, I do find that interesting because you're right. When I saw world's fastest hypnotist, they said he must be a stage.
Yeah.
But that's not your. Do you do any stage work?
Yeah, I do. I do. As a matter of fact, I've got 2 shows scheduled this month. But
The
um,
clinical is your main.
that's my main thing, and that's the part I really love doing. I mean, the stage is it's fun, it's interesting, it's kind of nerve wracking too. But when you're sitting there with a person in your office and you're helping them with an issue, then I mean that's the best. But yeah, I like to play too. So the stage, yeah, I keep my hand in it.
Now you live in Florida, you said, but you do. I heard the other night that 19 countries you've been in, and I see
Yeah,
you're teaching in Germany coming up. Is that accurate?
that's that is accurate. Yes, I have 2 classes coming up in Germany in the fall. Um, I haven't taught a class in the United States in years, but yeah. When we Stephanie and I lived a few years ago, we lived for 4 years in Germany, which was beautiful. I could drive to Spain and drive to Switzerland and drive to Netherlands, and so I racked up a lot of flags just teaching in European countries. My wife got me a flag display, and it's this kind of curved thing, and it has space for about 30 flags. And so every time I teach in a new country, she gets me that flag. So I have 19 flags in my display. So I'm hoping Ireland, Ireland in the spring. That's going to be my 20th
That's,
flag.
that's your goal. Good for
That's
you.
that's not the goal. Well, that's just the interim goal. I want to get 30 countries.
Oh, really? Now, do you
Yeah.
speak German at all? If you're doing, you've done.
No ambition. No, I'm a former linguist. I was a Russian linguist back in a previous life, and so I know a bit about languages and working with translators. And so what we normally do is something they call a consecutive translation. So I say a sentence or two, and then I wait, and they say it in the target language, and then I go some more. And now there's also consecutive translation, which is like you see at the where you're talking and they're talking at the same time, and that's really weird. I much prefer the consecutive translation, and then what I do is I just kind of squeeze things down, so I
Right.
take out all the fluff. But yeah, I've worked with translators in a lot of countries.
Wow, that's kind of crazy in the sense that you're able to do that. I would think it'd be a little harder, but if you're able to cut things down to make it easier, that makes
Oh
sense.
yeah, it works really well. And the embarrassing thing is that you go to these countries and every one of them speaks beautiful English, and you don't know a thing of their language, and it's kind of embarrassing. But
What do you tell people who hesitate about going to see a hypnotist? Because again, our podcast, we have hypnotists who listen, members
mhm,
of the NGH. We have people who are not members. We
mhm.
have the public who likes to tune in every once in a while as well.
Oh yeah, okay.
So, I mean,
So
if somebody, you know how it is. There's always somebody that says, "I might benefit," but then they hold back. What would you
right,
tell them that
huh?
might?
I would say that now it's so much better than it used to be. I mean, now you can go on somebody's website and you can actually see a video of that person and kind of get a feel for, does this look like somebody I trust, or do I want to look elsewhere? And I always encourage hypnotists when I'm teaching to do their pre-brief and record it and put it on the website so that a prospective client can look on there and go, okay, yeah, he looks normal. It doesn't have two heads or anything like that. I think this guy could help me, or this gal, and so do that. And then also there are, I think one of our speakers at Solid Gold is doing something on testimonials, right?
Yes,
Is it, and which lady is doing that?
and that's Robbie Spear Miller.
Yeah, I'm
Robbie
looking forward to that because she's talking about getting testimonials and probably video testimonials, and that is great. So somebody who's thinking about checking out hypnosis can go on that person's website and see their actual clients saying, "Hey, this person's nice. This person helped me, and it's safe, and it's fun. It is fun." And yeah, so that's what I tell people that are thinking about hypnosis. Check out the websites. Oh, and then you could Google search that hypnotist and see what all the people said about that person. And so I mean, yeah, I mean it's the greatest thing if you're trying to choose somebody to work with. It was
Right.
probably rough 30, 40 years ago.
Well, let me add to that a little bit in the sense that so say if they're pretty sure that a hypnotist, again, say they're looking at you, that you could help them,
Hmm.
but then there's that block inside them that's saying, I don't know what to do. I'm a little afraid. Not not to do background. So they did the background on you. They're comfortable
Hmm.
to go see you, but it's taking that step to walk in the door and take
Hmm.
care of or tackle any issue that they want to with a hypnotist. I mean, how do you get them to come in
Hmm.
and relax? Do you take extra time with them
Oh yeah,
or
yeah, yeah. I mean, fortunately, I have time, and I think most hypnotists do. And so maybe give the person a call, give the hypnotist a call, and have that conversation with them. Maybe the issue you want to work on is a particular specialty. Maybe that hypnotist has worked with a similar issue many times, and can give you an idea as to how the session will go. Or perhaps the hypnotist will say, well, that's not one of the things that I generally work with. So, but I have a few colleagues that I can recommend to you, and please check them out.
so I'm almost taking a step all the way to the beginning here. So 20 years ago,
Mhm.
you started you became a hypnotist.
Yes.
So what made you decide that 20 years ago you want to do this?
Okay, I was into NLP for many years. I actually took an NLP class back in 1987 when I was still working for the government, and one of my NLP classmates. This is I guess it was about 2005 or 2004, something like that. One of my friends called me up and she said, "Hey, Sean, guess what?" I said, "What, Deanna?" And she said, "I'm a hypnotist." And I said, "I know that, Deanna. So am I." She said, "No, you're not." She said, "I am a hypnotist. You are not." I said, "Okay, Deanna, why am I not a hypnotist?" And she said, "Because I took Jerry Kine's class." And she said, "Now I'm a hypnotist and I know what a hypnotist is supposed to do. And I don't think you can do that." So I said, "Okay, okay." So I signed up. I signed up for his class. And yep, I wasn't a hypnotist. I just thought I was. So he made a really big impression on me, and that's where I date my yes, from this moment on. That's when I became a hypnotist.
That's great. That's funny how people can have that impression on you, or definitely move you into
Yes.
the field. Um,
Yeah.
Now you've presented at the NGH convention.
Hmm.
Um, and what do you like about that? I mean, you obviously don't you present in other countries, as we said,
Sure.
so you
Hmm.
present all the time. What's
Hmm.
the best part of doing that? I mean, why do that?
Well, I think it's funny. I was away for several years, and I came back um, about a year and a half ago. I came back about a year and a half ago, and it was like coming home. It was the NGH was the first convention I ever went to, way back in, I guess, 2006 or 2007 was the first time I actually made it to the convention. And I don't know, it just felt like home. I got to see people that I hadn't seen in so long, and conventions are, some people go to a convention or one or two conventions, but you don't see them anywhere else. And so I ran into a lot of friends when I went back, and it was just really nice. And you made me think of something else, and that is for the youngsters that come to the convention and to the Solid Gold, and that is um, the instructors are more than happy to. I mean, if you have a question, I mean, I'm an introvert, so I may not go up to other people, but I love it when people come up to me and they have a question or they just want to chat or something like that. And I would encourage the new people to do that, to come up to the instructors and at least just say hi, or if you have a question or you just want to talk with them, just please do it, because at least in my case, I really appreciate it. But yeah, the instructors are by and large, they're going to be more than open to chatting with you, and that's a good thing. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, the whole idea is to share on how you've been through 20 years of knowing what works for you and what doesn't work, and that's valuable information, especially for somebody new or somebody who maybe is somewhat seasoned in getting into a different area of hypnosis that they haven't done before. um, and I think that's one of the things that works well with people like yourself who are willing to share and say, hey, yeah, this is how I did it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I say, I don't keep secrets.
You're an open book when it comes to
But when it comes to hypnosis, there's some other things that might keep a secret. But yeah, with hypnosis, yeah, I will tell. I'll talk your ears off.
All right, let's get off the hypnosis track for 1 second. Now you're
Okay.
in Florida. How long have you lived in Florida?
Let's see, about 2.5 years now.
Okay, and before that, besides overseas, were you?
Before that, I was in Germany. Oh, no, no. Before that, I was in Georgia. And before that,
Oh,
Germany. Before that, Maryland. Before that, Australia. And before that, yeah. I bounced around a lot.
you've been
The
all around.
the government moved me around. It's like being in a witness protection program. Yeah,
That good or bad? I don't know.
I don't. They never told me.
What goes on down there in Florida?
Well, I'll tell you what. In Florida, I live in the best place in the world. By the way, I live in a retirement community called the Villages. It is amazing. It's an amazing place. I mean, we ride around in our golf carts and we play pickleball 7 days a week and we golf and I do fencing and
Really?
I'm yeah, I'm so busy. It's crazy. I haven't been this busy in my entire life.
Now that's where I was going with this question is that what you do in your off time? Is you definitely have
That's what
plenty of things to do to keep you busy?
Oh, plenty of things. Yeah, man, I don't know if I can afford to see clients. I'm too bit now out here. But no, and we're opening a new office right now. We're renovating a building that we bought, so that's kind of in flux right now. But yeah, exciting things down there.
That's great. So where's the new place that you're looking at opening?
It's in Wildwood, Florida, so it's 10 minutes away from my house. It's not actually within the villages, so unfortunately, my clients can't come to me by golf cart. They have to they have to bring their car. But but yeah, it's about 10 minutes away, and Wildwood is it's a little town right outside the villages, and my office is right across the street from City Hall. So we're very happy with it. Now it's just a matter of getting it. It's got to be ADA compliant,
Right.
and so ramps and special bathrooms and everything like that. So it's a lot of work. I wouldn't be surprised if it takes another 6 to 9 months before we're ready. But I do have another office that I can use now, so that's okay.
Well, that's great. That is great. I mean, like we said at the beginning here, bringing clients to an office is works best for you, and
Yes.
so that makes sense that you do that. So let's talk about Solid Gold. Now,
Yes.
this is your first time at Solid Gold.
First time it's solid gold. Yes, I'm really excited.
You've obviously been to Las Vegas because you've been everywhere else, just to
Yeah.
and the the class that you're doing is instant and rapid inductions.
Exactly. Yes. And the form. By the way, with the hotel we're doing it in, I've been researching that a lot. That looks like a good place. The Tuscany
Yeah,
Suites. It looks like I've seen some really good reviews about it and some video. If you check on YouTube, you can find people who've done videos on what the Tuscany Suites is like, and it looks like a nice operation. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that because some hotels are maybe not so nice, but the Tuscany Suites looks like a good place. And so yeah, the format of this that I'll be teaching two versions. Start out for the rapid hypnosis, two versions of the element induction, one that can be used over Zoom and one that can be used with groups of people when you're giving presentations. And the students will, we're over 3 hours, so the students will be practicing doing these inductions with their partners and switching around. I like to keep people moving around so that you're not hypnotizing the same person twice. So then I'm going to go to the the finger magnets induction that I use when I'm doing demonstrations. And that's also a really good way to tell who your best subjects are. So they'll be practicing that one. And I'm going to teach the handshake interrupt induction, which this is the one when they say, "Oh, hypnotize him." This is the induction you use then, because if you do it properly, and I'll show them exactly how to do it, you really can't fail. It's and nobody wants to fail, right? Especially in front of people. You want to get this right. So I'll be teaching that, and then also I'll teach them ways to practice these inductions in the clinic, and just to help out the client and also give you the practice. And let's see. Oh, and I'll be teaching about how to find the best hypnotic subjects, and what to look for and what to avoid. Yeah, so that's kind of the format of it. But yeah, it's very much hands on. I think it's really good. A lot of people still haven't recovered from COVID, as far as they were seeing clients on a regular basis, and then COVID hit, and a lot of people kind of stepped back, and some people have gotten rusty, and some people have just done their first class, and they would like an extra bit of confidence in their ability to hypnotize. And so that's why I think this could be useful to a lot of other people, just to hone your skills and knock the rust off.
Well, I mean, that's probably what maybe you would say. I mean, I would definitely think as well is that these learning opportunities help do that type of thing. It reinforces what you already know,
Hmm.
or it teaches you something you don't know.
Hmm.
Um, so that's why the NGH puts them on all the time, or we do it once a year, but
Hmm.
the solid gold and the convention is so that people can do that. And, with folks like you who are willing to share um, the information with everyone, it's so important that they take the time to do these types of things. Um, because you're right, you can get rusty at some stuff if you don't do it all the time.
Mm, yeah.
And I would think that folks would want to learn, either new information or like I said, reinforce what they're doing.
Yeah, it's fun. I like to keep my classes fun. So and I'm watching the crowd. I want to see smiles. If I'm not seeing smiles, I know there's an area that I need to work a little bit more. But in general, I think my classes are pretty fun.
That's good. That's good. Now, inductions, of course, are your specialty when you're teaching,
Hmm.
and um, are most of the classes that you teach just on inductions, or do you do others as well?
No, I do others. Another area that I've done a lot of work in is pain management, and we do a lot of pain management when I do the Germany classes. The two classes in the autumn, and just general therapy. They they suck me dry when I'm in Germany. They want to know everything, and so yeah, so we do everything. But those are the main areas that I do.
Nice thing about solid gold is that the crowd is a good crowd in the sense that it's not huge, so that you can't really work with people, and
Hmm.
that's the important part of it is to make sure that you can do exactly what you're talking about and you're proposing to do for your presentation, and that's really get in there and give people a chance to practice some of the things that you do teach them.
Yes, and then of course the other thing. I mean, this holds true for Marlboro as well, which is one of the best things about going to one of these things is to get to network with your colleagues, and I mean, that's probably the main thing for me at least, networking with my colleagues and catching up on old friendships and that sort of thing. So, yeah, if you don't go to the conventions or the Solid Gold, then you don't get to do that.
That's true. Then you'll be out of the loop, and you don't want to be that way.
Yeah.
All right, so the solid gold that is February 24th and 25th in Las Vegas. Is there anything else that you want to share with the
No,
guests out
just
here?
when you go to Solid Gold on Saturday night, don't stay out too late because Sunday morning I'm gonna hit the ground running. So don't stay out too late Saturday night because I want you nice and fresh for the instant and rapid inductions.
Or drink lots of coffee before you start as well.
Plenty, plenty, yes.
We want to thank everybody for joining us for the Hypnosis NGH podcast. We thank our special guest, Sean Michael Andrews. He's going to be at the Solid Gold weekend happening February 24th and 25th in Las Vegas, Nevada. If you're interested in going, you can definitely go online to the ngh.net website and sign up there. And we'll see you in Las Vegas. Thank you for listening to the Hypnosis NGH podcast. You're welcome to share your ideas for future podcasts by emailing us nghpodcast@ngh.net.